It's time for this week's episode of Brandon Sports Talk.
Welcome back to Brandon Sports Talk. In today's episode, I have the privilege to interview the Premier Lacrosse League professional lacrosse player, Zach Higgins. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well, thanks. How about yourself, Brennan?
Good. Can you talk about how you knew that you wanted to get involved in playing professional lacrosse?
Yeah, I actually don't know if when I was playing lacrosse growing up, that it was kind of a main focus of mine. I really focused more on just enjoying the sport. Like I played hockey growing up, and that was kind of my main focus in the winter. And lacrosse was just something to do as a hobby, and it was enjoyable. And I ended up kind of just making a career out of it by happen chance. So it was kind of nice to have that extra sport during the summertime that I really enjoyed and really put myself into just as much as I did into hockey. But it was definitely a surprise. I remember even in junior lacrosse, it was more of just thinking about how to kind of win championships each year. And come my last year, it was more even just enjoying my last year and trying to make the best of it and to help again win a championship, which we luckily did. And that was kind of my focus. And even after that, I didn't even really know that I was going to make the NLL and all that kind of stuff. And it kind of just happened, which was a big blessing. And I'm very fortunate to be one of the lucky few, especially a goaltender in the NLL that I guess a lot of hard work and just dedication into lacrosse, even though it was a big hobby growing up, has paid off. So it's been exciting.
What was it like going to Davenport University to play college lacrosse?
Yeah, it was a great opportunity. So when I was getting recruited, I was in grade 11, so I was still 15 when I was getting recruited, and they were like a brand new program, and they only just had their first ever recruiting class come in. I want to say 2007. I want to say it was when they started, and I was the 2008 recruiting class, which was pretty remarkable. I mean, I definitely didn't expect to be playing field lacrosse. It was again, when I played in minor for box, it was kind of forced upon us to be on the field team at the end of my minor days. And I definitely didn't want to be the goalie, fully knowing that they didn't wear any pads. It was I tried my hardest not to be the goalie, but because I was the goalie and for the box team, that I kind of didn't have a choice. Mainly because I wasn't the greatest player, so I knew that if I was gonna kind of keep playing and be a part of this team, then I was gonna have to be the goalie. So I sucked it up. Wore a lot of pads to make sure I wasn't going to get hurt and I was going to have to make the best of it. And that kind of was my early days of field lacrosse, was just early exposure to kind of just going out and playing. I didn't really have much coaching in the field lacrosse. It was just go have fun. And that kind of just, I evolved more as I played more. I started to get hang of it a bit. I started to wear a little less pads, started to feel more comfortable. And then I actually ended up meeting the Davenport lacrosse coach in one of my junior B games when I was playing for the Farrington Green Gales, and he was kind of doing some recruiting because he had a few guys. We were playing against the Oakville Buzz. He had a few guys already committed and were playing at the school, so he was coming to visit and see them. And thankfully, I guess he decided that he wanted to come check me out after the game and met me, and we kind of hit it off nicely. I know I went down in my senior year of high school to visit, and again, it was pretty good. I mean, they were the only school that really recruited me at all. And I mean, I wasn't going to pass up the opportunity. I never thought that I would be going to an American school for lacrosse and for education. And Davenport was just kind of a perfect fit for me. Like, I definitely like being kind of under the radar, and it's just more of and it fit me perfectly as a smaller school that I wasn't going to get lost in the kind of the big scene of a big university. It was so small that I kind of fit in pretty well and felt pretty comfortable. And yeah, it was a great 4 years.
What was it like getting to put on the Davenport uniform?
Yeah, it was pretty special. I know I mentioned that I was the second ever recruiting class. So being one of the early ones to kind of set the culture at the university and for our team, that it was special. Like we definitely the program's taken off now. I know it's NCAA Division II. They get way bigger recruits than when I was kind of coming out of high school, coming into the university, and especially a lot of Canadian kids. And yeah, it was special. I know I still have a couple of jerseys from my days at the house now, and yeah, I always enjoy when I go back and see all the friends and we go play alumni games. And yeah, I always look forward to going hanging out and seeing people that I went to university with and spending weekends and things like that with them. It's always the best time. So I love going back to Grand Rapids and spending time with those guys that I played 4 years lacrosse with. So.
Of course, during your college lacrosse time, what were some of your accomplishments at Davenport?
Yeah, the biggest one was in 2011. We ended up winning the MCLA Division II national championship. Again, coming in as a field lacrosse player, never expected that. I mean, it was pretty remarkable. We had an incredible team, lots of local talent in Michigan, and then we blended well with a bunch of Canadians that were a part of the university as well coming in. And I mean, that kind of mixture being so close from Michigan and Ontario there, that we got along really well. So we had an incredible group and a really talented group as well. And I think when we kind of put that all together, we made a good run and we ended up winning the whole thing in 2011. So that's definitely the best accomplishment that and my biggest goal was always going that. It's always winning championships. That's the best goal you want. So achieving that was definitely a pretty special. As for like more personal, I know I remember I won conference defensive player of the year, I think that same year, but that's a big attribute to the team. I mean, going into that year, I think I've maybe had 6 years of field goalie experience, and that to kind of it just shows the kind of group we had, that I could be myself and fit in well with that team, that I could contribute in a good way to help us win. And I was fortunate enough to be selected as the defensive player of the year in our CCLA conference, and which I definitely didn't expect. I mean, we had some incredible defenders, and one of my best buddies, Matt Ganzak, he was definitely the leader of our group. And yeah, when you have guys like who are that talented, it's kind of makes my job a lot easier, thankfully. So, but yeah, other than that, I don't know. I don't pay too much attention to the personal accolades. It's just never my focus when going into seasons. So it's usually trying to just win. And yeah, off the top of my head, I don't remember a whole lot of them. Those are the biggest two that I do remember, but yeah, some special ones for sure.
Of course, coming out of Davenport, what was it like getting drafted into the Professional Lacrosse League?
I actually didn't get selected in the draft for the National Lacrosse League. My draft year, I had a little confusion. Just being an MCLA athlete, it didn't qualify me similar to as NCAA athletes. So technically, my draft year was 2011, which I didn't really know. I didn't really know that from the league or anything like that. I kind of just was watching the draft and it went by, and I was like, okay, well, I'm still in my senior year anyway. Like, I didn't expect to be drafted. I would figure I'd be drafted the year after once I was done school. But come that year after, when I put my name in, and the league actually reached out to me saying that I was ineligible. My draft year was the year prior, and that I was a free agent. So that's kind of how it went. I had no clue, had no idea. And then I started hearing from a few teams after that. And that's how I kind of ended up signing with the Minnesota Swarm. They were a big push. They were the biggest team that pushed. And I mean, when you have a team coming like that, especially when I didn't hear anything, it was pretty exciting. And I was more than happy to sign with that organization.
What was that feeling like of obviously signing with the Minnesota Swoosh?
Yeah, it was pretty incredible. I definitely didn't expect it. I know I went into the NLL combine, and I knew I had a meeting booked with them as well, but they presented the contract right away, and I was more than happy to be a part of the Minnesota Swarm. I was excited. I know they had a couple guys that I played lacrosse with growing up with, like Shane Jackson, or we were part of the same organizations pretty well our whole life. And I knew a bunch of guys that I played against in junior lacrosse, and yeah, it was exciting. I couldn't want anything more especially coming from university and junior. That getting an opportunity to come try out for this team with the Swarm, it was amazing.
What was that feeling like of putting on your first professional lacrosse jersey with the Minnesota Swarm?
I still think back. Remember the first time I put it on in a real game, I guess a real game I call it, but in a non-exhibition game. It was pretty amazing. It was 2013, I believe, and we were in Rochester. I didn't play the game, being a backup. They had Tyler Carlson still there. He was still a veteran. He was a couple years older than me and had been part of the organization for a little longer. And he's definitely an amazing goalie. So I knew coming in that I was happy to be a backup and try and learn and take my chances when they come. But it was still incredible. Like, you run out of that floor in Rochester and the atmosphere is kind of buzzing and the fans are electric and they're yelling, "You suck," and all this stuff. And it's pretty cool. I mean, and it was amazing. I remember it pretty fondly. And then I guess even think more onto that, a few games later, I was fortunate enough to go into a game early in Philadelphia, and we ended up helping the team make a comeback win and getting my first win in my first ever kind of playing action. So yeah, I definitely remember putting on the Swarm jersey pretty fondly, and it was an amazing feeling.
What was it like getting to play with the Georgia Swarm, obviously in the NLL?
Yeah, it was kind of interesting being part of that move from Minnesota to Georgia. I remember that off season, there was definitely lots of speculation, and once we got the official word that we were moving to Gwinnett, Georgia, it was kind of exciting, a new opportunity. I mean, we definitely loved it in Minnesota. It was tough to leave the fan base there. They had incredible fans, and I would actually love to see another team go back to Minnesota just for how awesome it was to be playing there especially in the wintertime. But going down to Georgia, a little warmer, which was nice and exciting. And I actually moved down there for our first season, which was kind of cool to be a part of all the high schools and younger organizations to kind of help grow the sport at the grassroots level. So yeah, it was pretty special to move down to Georgia with the Swarm and have that opportunity to be part of that first team.
How did it feel, obviously, to play with the Brooklin Redmen?
Yeah, it was pretty cool. I know we're the Brooklin Lacrosse Club now, with trying to give some respect to the Native heritage, thankfully. And it was kind of interesting coming out of university that was my first team actually coming out of Davenport in junior lacrosse. So being part of the Brooklyn Lacrosse Club was definitely a big learning experience. I was coming into guys that were professional age, and I had to learn quickly. So I got to sit behind a great goalie in Aaron Bold and kind of just learn and watch and just experience what it was like to be a professional in the summer league. And it was pretty great. So I'd still play for them today. It's pretty awesome. I know we definitely have a great group of young kids coming in, and it's kind of weird being one of the older guys now. Kind of went by pretty fast, I guess, going into my 10th season with them next summer. And yeah, it's still pretty cool to pull on a Brooklyn Lacrosse Club jersey, as it's kind of been always close to home and kind of, I guess, watching them growing up a little bit. So yeah, it's pretty cool.
Of course, growing up, what was it like, obviously, playing with the Montreal team?
Sorry, say that again.
The Montreal Junior B lacrosse.
No, my junior B days. Yeah. In Ontario Junior B with the Clarington Green Girls. I mean, I was a part of the Clarington Green Girls minor organization, and I was definitely one of the first to move in from the minor organization into the junior team, which was pretty incredible. Loved my time with the Gales. I wish we would have won a Founders Cup in 2009. It's definitely one of the things I wish we could have pulled out for the organization. I mean, watching them as a kid, I was, I guess, a dream of mine to really play for them. I never thought I would get that opportunity, but it was pretty special coming out of minor lacrosse as a 16-year-old to make that team and be a part of with some great players who still play in the National Lacrosse League today. So it's, yeah, it was definitely a good stepping stone into my junior A days with the Whitby Warriors, and where we actually did win a Minto Cup with a lot of that same group we had in Clarington, thankfully. So our last year, we definitely made it special, and we just don't get those opportunities all the time. And it was pretty great to win a Minto Cup our last year in 2011.
What was your time like going to the Durham TurDogs and obviously getting to put on that jersey and play with them?
It was cool. So I know when I signed with Minnesota, I ended up making it as a practice roster goalie, which again I knew was a good opportunity for me. I mean, coming out of junior, still really young, gotta learn and kind of gotta bide your time and put the effort in to get that chance to be a part of the active roster. So I knew the best opportunity for me was going to be playing in a league closer to home with the Sea Lacs and being a part of the Durham TurDogs. So they had the coaches I had on the team there were part of my junior days with the Clarington Green Gales. So I knew them pretty well. So I knew it was going to be a good transition and good opportunity to get some game action and kind of put the effort in while being away from the Swarm, kind of making sure I'm sharp and ready just in case anything ever happened. And we had a pretty good group there. I know we were making a run during the season, and fortunately for me, I ended up getting called up to the Swarm during their playoff push as well, to kind of just sit and learn and watch and just be a part of that organization and the team and kind of fit into that culture a little bit, which was kind of cool to see how everyone was so professional and how they put in all the best effort you could. And I do accredit that to being a part of the TurDog team that helped push me to be part of in the NLL with Minnesota Swarm during that time.
Of course, with the TurDogs, what was it like getting to play so close to home, as you said?
It was cool. It was nice that my parents could come watch me, and especially development-wise, having a full-time job in the week, that being close to home early on during that definitely helped with my career as well, away from lacrosse and in lacrosse, because I got to practice in the week with the Swarm with all the local guys, and then I would go practice with the TurDogs, and then I would go play on the weekend with the TurDogs as well. So it was kind of helpful being close to home that I could do all those things and still have a career outside of lacrosse, as well as improve my career as a goaltender as well. So having all the chances to practice and play close to home definitely was a pretty significant boost when I was that young to get the game action. So yeah, it was nice being close to home.
What was it feeling like, obviously, when you got that call up to obviously go to the Minnesota team?
Yeah, it was a pretty crazy evening. I think I was at practice with the TurDogs, and I believe it was around trade deadline day in NLL. And I actually ended up missing the call. I ended up just having a voicemail and seeing an email with a contract come through from the Swarm. So I was just so excited. I didn't even actually call the team back. I just signed the contract and sent the email back. And then I kind of clicked in. I was like, oh, I should probably call the coach and let him know that I signed the contract and that I'm coming. So yeah, it was pretty crazy. And yeah, just a kind of a crazy emotional day to kind of get that call up to come be a part and learn from some incredible players who have done it at the highest level. So yeah, it was an awesome time.
What is it like, obviously, now playing with the Philadelphia Wings and obviously making your first debut as a professional athlete?
Yeah, being a part of this Wings team, it's amazing. I mean, we have an incredible group, an incredible coaching staff with Paul Day, who put a lot of faith in me, I guess, in the 2019-2020 season there to bring me in from Buffalo. And it's been incredible. The culture, you could tell when I was with Buffalo that the culture was going to be there with the group they had. And they were very welcoming to bring me in, and it kind of brought the best out of me and I do believe like having that team culture helps bring the best out of players. And when you have everyone comfortable, it brings the best out of everyone to want to do their best. So I think that was a big part of some of the success I've had being with the Wings, and it's been amazing. I mean, I love it. Every weekend I'm excited to go see the boys and kind of have that time every weekend to go battle with everyone. And I wouldn't trade anything being part of this Wings organization and this team. I know we have something special going right now, and looking forward to the new year to getting back at it again.
Of course, what was it like, obviously, getting to put on the Philadelphia Wings jersey for the first time and actually playing in your first professional debut game?
Yeah, it was probably really special. I mean, they're a really well-known organization. They've been one of the original, I want to say, in the NLL, and being a part of something like that is definitely a once in a lifetime moment. So it's every time it's always special to see the Wings jersey and to put it on each game and to go, you're going to got to go battle as hard as you can because the fans are going to be there supporting with you, and they're going to let you know if you're not, which is an amazing thing with Philadelphia. It's kind of what makes it such a special city to play in. So they're it putting on that Wings jersey is always going to be special to me each and every week. So I look forward to it every time.
What's a typical game day like for you playing with the Philadelphia Wings?
Yeah, so I usually get in the morning before game day. So I'll fly in the morning of Friday. And like doing that just to kind of get settled in. I can still work during the day on the Friday without any interruptions, which is nice. And then we'll practice Friday nights once everyone else kind of gets in the evening. We'll just go usually for like an hour and a half or so, hour and a half to 2 hours, which is nice. Kind of just shake the travel legs out, get some shots going again, get this kind of see some action, I guess, because it's usually a quiet week. So it's nice to kind of shake that rust off in a way to get back at it. And then Saturday mornings, we'll have a quick hour shoot around, some film, especially being on the D side. We'll watch some film as a team. And have some lunch, go to pregame nap, and then it's game time usually in the evening for a few hours. So that's usually, and then I'll fly home Sunday morning. So it's kind of a game weekend in a nutshell. It's pretty quick turnarounds, which is kind of nice. You're in and out of a lot of cities, but it's exciting in itself that way that it's you kind of cool. You get to fly out on a Friday and you're just playing a game Saturday, and then you're back home Sunday to do my day job again. So it's kind of cool.
Of course, what is that feeling like? As you said, you fly in Friday and then you fly out Sunday. What is that feeling like of obviously not being so close to your team's area that you have to fly in and fly out?
Yeah, it's definitely a little different. I mean, it's depending on certain teams. I know some have all local players and they practice in the week, but with us, we just practice on Fridays. So we usually are pretty active in group chats and pretty active with film in the week to make sure we're all in constant communication and we're all putting in the effort in the gym to make sure we're staying in shape during the week, that we're not losing anything coming in each weekend, because it's pretty neat that way. As other professional athletes, they play every other day or so, that it's hard to kind of keep that consistent ability to have those gains in the gym. So I know with us, we can jump in Mondays in the gym and put in our work for the week, so we're ready for each weekend. So I know as a group, we all do that to the best of our ability, and I know with constant communication on film and things like that, we're prepared each week coming in. So, of
course, who are some teams that you faced in the league?
There's a whole bunch. So I know when I started, there was only 9, which is kind of it was a decent number. It was kind of nice coming in, being one of the 9 team, one of a goalie being on one of the 9 teams. But we've gone up to 14 teams with 15 coming next year. And so far this year, we've played the Toronto Rock, which we had a tough loss the other night. We played the New York Riptide and Panther City Lacrosse Club so far this year, which we had a couple of big wins. And there's a team in Colorado, Saskatoon, Calgary, Vancouver, and Gwinnett, just down by Atlanta. There's obviously us in Philadelphia, Halifax, Buffalo, Rochester, Albany. There's a whole bunch. It's kind of nice seeing how the league has grown, and getting these experiences to go to each city is kind of cool.
Who are some players that you look up to in the professional lacrosse world?
Yeah, when I was younger, it was kind of cool watching Toronto Rock games. There's definitely been a bunch of legends who are in the Hall of Fame now. With like Bob Watson, Colin Doyle, Josh Anderson. A lot of those guys are pretty exciting. And even when I was coming into the league, it was still kind of cool because there'll be some guys like Anthony Cosmo, Matt Vince, Brandon Miller, who are definitely some goalies I looked up. And even when I was younger coming in, so it was kind of cool to have the experiences to play with them, play against them, getting to meet them, which all of them are extremely nice and have been huge parts of some of my success in my career, getting to learn and just talk to them on a weekly basis, and just getting to be around them kind of gives you that confidence, and you just get to soak everything in, which makes you better. So yeah, I would definitely attribute those 3 guys in my professional career that have helped me along the way. And then even in junior career with Jason Crosby, who played in the NLL for a long time, who's part of the coaching staff with the New York Riptide now. He was definitely a huge factor early in my career in junior with the Clarington Green Gales in junior B. Definitely helped push me to be a whole new level of goaltending that I never thought, because lacrosse was, again, just a hobby. So having a coach like that who pushed me to a great level has definitely helped me give me some success today.
What advice would you give college lacrosse players looking to play college lacrosse and then go on to professional lacrosse?
I'd say the biggest advice I'd have is just always focus on being in the moment. You can't think too far ahead and thinking about how you want to be a professional player, even though you're just starting your college career. You got to focus on your college career first and foremost, I would say. I think that was something that helped me, because coming into going to Davenport or junior lacrosse, it was, I don't know, I never thought I would be in the NLL. So I always just was like, how to make the most of this moment here. How can I find a role within this team to have some success and make the best memories I can with the group we have here, and to go win championships. That's kind of the biggest focus I had, was just being in the moment. It's just kind of, and it'll come as you just become more mature. You come into your freshman year, you kind of sit and learn and watch what the seniors do, and you just absorb everything you can from coaches and players, and you put in the effort and time, and people will notice. And when you get your opportunity, you just got to take advantage of it. Because I know in me, even being in the NLL and junior and things like that, it was just, you have some up and downs, but even during the downs, you just got to kind of keep your focus and keep working to make sure that the next chance comes that you're ready for, because there's always going to be a chance as long as you have put that effort in. I think good things come to people who want to put that effort in and put the work in, that you always are going to find that opportunity for yourself. And when it comes, you're going to be ready to capitalize on it, which I think is the best advice I could give. So it's kind of what I did. And fortunately enough, and thankfully, it's worked out for me, and I wouldn't, it's been really big blessing, and it's been awesome. So it's very fortunate enough to be a part of the National Lacrosse League. And I think it's attributed just kind of from focusing and being in the moment during all my university and junior lacrosse days.
What advice would you give, obviously, future professional athletes that are looking to play professional lacrosse, whether it's the NLL, the National Lacrosse League, or the Premier Lacrosse League?
Yeah, I think it kind of ties into what I kind of mentioned, but even in my professional career experience-wise, I struggled a lot early. I mean, with Minnesota and Georgia, I didn't live up to the expectations I set on myself, along with what the organization thought of me as well. So struggling from an early on, it definitely was a bummer. It brought my confidence down, and it was tough to kind of refocus each week, because it was just a struggle mentally to be prepared and want to come out and be the best I could each week. So guys coming in as a professional, wanting to be a professional, or guys who are drafted or undrafted free agents. I mean, I was a undrafted free agent, and I'm still going into this is my 9th season in the NLL. It's definitely doable. It's kind of just all about the effort and opportunity you kind of get. And that's kind of just how I focused on it. So even though I struggled with the Swarm, I went down and played with the TurDogs. I played with in the Arena Lacrosse League with the Oshawa Outlaws, who were a big factor in helping building my confidence to get back into the NLL. Like having that chance to lead a group of men with us in 2016 to go win a championship. I mean, those experiences are vital in a young lacrosse player's career, or any professional, finding that chance to just build on yourself and find that to build your confidence up to get the opportunities to come back into the professional league. So I would say it's just all about working hard, finding your the best culture that's going to fit for you, and when that opportunity comes, making sure you capitalize on it. I think that's just kind of the big pieces that I've found along the way that I needed to do. And thankfully, I'm very fortunate enough that I've had those chances, and I've kind of capitalized on it with some help from family and my fiance and friends, and a lot of people like in my circle who've definitely pushed me along the way, and finding that incredible group now with the Philadelphia Wings, with the incredible culture these guys have built, and being fortunate enough to be a part of it. It's definitely I'm definitely thankful that I had that opportunity. So it's pretty incredible.
That's great advice. Where can my listeners find you at on social media?
Yeah, I definitely have Twitter and Instagram. I don't know if I'm the most active poster, not really. I just kind of have it. I like having the social media just to follow the news and things like that around, and just kind of follow other professional sports and kind of other athletes in the leagues and things like that. But definitely on Tinder, not on Tinder, sorry, on Twitter and Instagram with the handles at TendyBear31. So yeah, you can find me there and definitely give me a follow. I'll probably follow you back. But yeah, that's kind of the two that I use the most.
Thank you again, Zach Higgins, for your interview, and best of luck in your future in the PLL.
Awesome. I appreciate it. It was nice chatting with you, Brandon. Thanks for bringing me on.
Thank you. You can find Brandon Sports Talk on Facebook at Brandon Sports Talk, Instagram at Brandon Sports Talk, Twitter at Talk_Brandon, and you can find me on YouTube at Brandon Sports Talk. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you again, Zach Higgins, for your interview, and best of luck in your future.
I appreciate that. Thanks for bringing me on again. It was nice chatting with you.
You've been watching Brandon Sports Talk. Please feel free to like, share, and subscribe to Brandon Sports Talk on social media and on YouTube.